Oh, hello. There you are. Welcome to the show. It is, I don't know, the 12th of August. Here I am. There you are. If you are. If you're not, there you're not. Uh yeah, I got a few things to talk about this week, I'll tell you. It's been a little bit of a weird week. We got the Trump interview and coming back on X thing to talk about. That's going to be kind of cool, I guess. Yeah, so the interview, I guess today is at 8 o'clock with Musk. If you don't know about that, he's doing an interview with Elon Musk on X, and yeah, that's gonna be pretty cool. So I'm gonna check that out after the podcast. I'll make sure I'm off before then. What's up, Great from Phuket? What's up, Joe? If you're in Phuket, that would be pretty funny. Which I wouldn't doubt you might be. I guess I had a buddy who used to go to Thailand all the time. Yep. Anyways, welcome to the show, Joe. Glad to see you almost on time. You're missing a little bit, buddy. It's okay. Yep. If you missed it, we're going to talk about the Trump thing. Also, we're going to talk about that hilarious Australian breakdancer, if that's what you want to call her. That was stupid. Oh my God. So we're going to talk about that. I got a small video. It's very hard to find any videos on it. Unfortunately, I guess they've copyrighted the crap out of that. So I've just got this reactionary video. It'll just show you some of the moves, which is kind of funny. But we'll talk about that. Also, Ukraine makes a little offensive move into Russia. I think it's kind of a distractionary tactic. I'm not sure what they're doing because they've been on their heels for a little while now, but now they're in some Russian territory. I don't know. We'll talk about that. We'll see what whoever I'm reading an article about has to say about that, and we'll discuss. Yeah, I know it does take a little bit of time to load. I've tried it before on mine, and yeah, it doesn't work very well. But oh well. All right, I forgive you, buddy. I forgive you. We'll say that the time difference is the reason. Also, we're going to talk about a really cool thing that I just kind of found out about. I love these, if you want to call them conspiracy theories or like end of world conspiracies and all this kind of stuff. There's a good one about the Pope. It's this being the last Pope, essentially. I don't want to give too much away, but we'll talk about that. And it's related to a Saint Malachi, or Malachi, I think is the better way to pronounce it. We'll talk about that and kind of delve into that a little bit because I've been kind of deep diving into that. Also, there's been another crypto. There was another crypto scam that's now the SEC's jumping all over it. We'll kind of talk about that. I'm not gonna spend too much time on that, but kind of paints the picture for the crypto, the Wild West, basically the Wild West show what the crypto space is like. Yeah, no, Conspiracy Corner isn't back. Not yet. I gotta write those, right? It takes some time. But no, this is an actual real thing. So we'll go into it though. I'm glad you don't know about it at least. And lastly, I'm gonna play a video from my favorite, one of my favorite X accounts, Clown World on Twitter, or on X, sorry, of a gold digger basically outing herself. It's pretty pathetic, but we'll play it and we'll laugh and react to it. So if you are watching the podcast and you are a fan and you aren't yet a subscriber, do hit that subscribe. Doesn't cost you anything. Also, if you miss any part of the podcast and you want to catch the videos, I put the videos out from Tuesday to Sunday, depending on which ones I want to actually drop at 5 o'clock. And you can check those out then, share them, like them, comment, all that kind of stuff. All the engagement, the engagement. If you've been on YouTube long enough, engagement helps a small channel like this. So do what you can, help it if you want. If you don't, don't. And I love comments, funny comments, better. Good, smart comments, just as good. But I got a good one this week. It was good. Somebody made fun of me. It made me laugh, so I had to give them kudos. But yeah, so if you want to make fun of me, go ahead, make fun of me. I like those comments too. So what's this? Call it Twix like everyone else? What's this? What are you talking about? What did I miss? What did I say that I missed? I don't know. I talk shit. I'm not sure. I missed your comment probably in time for my brain to relate to what you meant by that. Yeah. So anyways, okay. So let's get into the first thing, because this one I think no, this one's not gonna. I'm gonna be long on that. I think on that last Pope prediction, so I want to make sure I don't go too long because I want to make sure I'm done in time to catch that Elon Musk interview as I sort of seg into that. Let me pull up the browser here and get that all ready. Boop boop boop. Okay. Oh, actually, I'm kind of not ready on a few things here. I should get that ready. There we go. All right. Bear with me here. So if you haven't heard, Trump is officially back on X, and he posted today just his political ad campaign. It was his first post since he dropped his mugshot on X last year. But yeah, and this precedes a pretty cool interview he's going to do with Elon Musk. If you like Trump, obviously you're going to love to watch that. Either way, if you don't, you kind of want to see a pretty good interview, I think it'll probably be a pretty good interview. But let's see what Politico has to say. Let me read this article here. Okay, so Trump posts on X ahead of Elon Musk interview. So Donald Trump revived his X account on Monday for the first time in a year, hours before he's slated to sit down with the platform's billionaire owner, Elon Musk, for a live interview. The former president posted a 2.5-minute ad he's previously shared on other social media platforms and at campaign events, a video compilation painting himself as a political target in the face of multiple criminal indictments. He went on to post at least 4 more times within the next 2 hours, promoting his 8 p.m. Interview with Musk and hitting Vice President Kamala Harris as a San Francisco radical. Not untrue. His last activity on the platform had been sharing his Fulton County jail mugshot in 2023. If you haven't seen that mugshot, go check it out. It's an iconic photo. It's going to be like the James Dean smoking a cigarette one. It's just pure awesome. And before that, an announcement 2 days after the January 6, 2021 insurrection that he would not attend President Joe Biden's inauguration. His campaign also began running ads on X under his @RealDonaldTrump account ahead of his Musk interview. Data on how much his campaign is spending on the platform was not available in X's political advertising log, which updates every few days. Trump's campaign has previously spent on X ads under @TeamTrump account, but not on the former president's notorious personal account. The X posts also come after the company behind Trump's own platform, Truth Social, Truth Media and Technology Group, recorded a more than $16 million loss. You gotta love Politico, eh? He's got to put all this bullshit in there like this is relevant. But, it's a little slag on Trump, I guess. And nearly a 30% decline in revenue from the same quarter last year, according to its latest financial results earlier this month. Trump is the company's largest stakeholder, with shares valued at roughly $3 billion. A month after Musk, who had denounced Trump's ban from the platform following the insurrection, acquired what was then called Twitter in 2022, he reinstated Trump's account, although the former president has mostly remained on Truth Social. Once a self-proclaimed Democrat, Musk has risen recently as a figure in right-wing spaces. This whole article is just kind of like let's throw in little pieces of our narrative position. It's kind of funny. While the Tesla CEO said he would not be donating to any presidential candidate, he endorsed Trump in the days following the assassination attempt on the Republican presidential candidate at a Pennsylvania rally last month. At least they actually call it an assassination attempt. That's very forward thinking of Politico. We're very proud of you. Yeah, so he's going to be back on X, it looks like, which is really good. I mean, this interview, I'm going to be really curious to see what the numbers pull on this, because if you're aware, Trump and I guess Jordan Peterson interviewed Elon Musk, 2 weeks ago or something like that? And the numbers on that were ridiculous. Like the live numbers were, I think it was 2 million people live viewing that. And you got to realize, for example, like I was live viewing it with my buddy. And so that's 2 of us viewing it. If we were doing it on separate devices, that'd be an extra view. So I'm sure there's a lot of people that were viewing it on the same devices. So it could have been like, 4 or 5 million people watching. And a live stream on X, that's huge. I'm going to be curious to see if this one actually does better. But we'll see. Are you saying there, Joe? Oh yeah, Twitter equals X equals Twix. Oh, okay, yeah. Twitter plus X. Yeah, that makes sense. Twix. That's actually. Have you just coined that yourself, or is that something that's out there? Because if you just coined it, I'm gonna try and push that for you. I see 8 posts since the mugshot. Oh yeah. He's been posting all day apparently. My mugshot shirt gets a lot of work. So does the assassination shirt. So you got them both, eh? Yeah. I'm not really a shirt, political shirt wearing guy or that kind of thing, but it's a pretty cool shirt, I suppose. Just not. I like plain shirts. Just nothing on them. Maybe at best like a little logo or something like that, but that's about it. All right, let's see what we got next here. I'm having a little bit of difficulties here for some reason with my mouse. All right, here we go. So you've probably no doubt have seen this by now. The Australian breakdancer that has been making news because she's hilariously bad. And obviously this is a new thing in the Olympics, so it's, there's going to be eyes on it. And unfortunately, she's brought some weird eyes to it. But I'm going to read this article. This is Variety. Well, whatever. It is what it is. Australian breakdancer goes viral as sport makes its Olympic debut. Australian breakdancer Rachel Gunn, I wonder if that's her real name, has caused quite a stir on social media after her performance at the 2024 Paris Olympics. Breaking, more commonly known as breakdancing, made its debut as an Olympic sport on Friday. The competition consists of 2 gender-based events with 16 B-boys and 16 B-girls vying for the gold. Gunn, who competes under the name Ray Gunn, went viral online after her performance Friday in the round-robin stage of her women's breaking competition, where she was swept out without earning a single point. And wait till you see when I play the video some of her best moves. You can see why. The 36-year-old sparked dozens of memes and drew criticism from viewers for her unconventional moves while competing against the U.S.'s Logan Edra, Lithuania's Dominika Banavec, and France's Saya Dembele. Sorry if I screwed up any of those names. Mistakes were definitely made, folks, but the biggest one was communication by Reagan's family and friends. One user wrote on X, formerly Twitter, "It's rare, but not telling someone they can't dance can have global implications." So a bunch of people just trashed her on X. I'm not going to read them all. But here's what says, "All my moves are original," Gunn told reporters after her performance. "Creativity is really important to me. I go out there and I show my artistry. Sometimes it speaks to the judges and sometimes it doesn't. I do my thing and it represents art. That is what it's all about." No, you're supposed to have some skill. I don't know. I can go out and pretend I'm a dancer, but if I don't have any skill, I just say, "Oh, it's just art. It's just my form of dancing." But whatever. You're not bullshitting a bunch of judges at the Olympics, I guess. Ultimately, Japan's Ami Yusa earned the gold medal for the B-girls competition at the Paris Olympics, while Banovic, which is the Lithuanian one, scored silver, and China's Liu Qingyi received bronze. The B-boys competition began on Saturday. Okay, so anyways, so here's...
Breakdancing will not be at the...
it's auto-started, but here is the video. This is the only video I could kind of find that, would show you some, because it seems like the other ones, it was just all new stuff talking about it, but maybe I didn't scour enough, but I found this, so enjoy.
The next Summer Olympics in 2028, and can you really blame them? Because this is the foolishness that we had to watch in Paris. We really had to watch a 36-year-old Australian doctor who has a PhD in breakdancing, by the way, do the kangaroo hop. Are you serious? This lady has a PhD in breakdancing and hit the sprinkler. She hit the sprinkler. She was swimming on stage. Oh my God. Her name being Rachel Gunn, B-girl named Ray Dunn. She went more viral than the people that were actually good.
I love it. What is this? I think she was having a stroke, to be honest. I think somebody missed. They missed the signs. Maybe a seizure, epilepsy or something.
And then she posted this on her Instagram.
It's gonna stop it there. Oh my God.
Looking forward to the same level of scrutiny.
Why does it keep restarting? Just wants to keep playing it.
The B-boys tomorrow.
It's just gonna
I don't
keep.
think
No, I'm not gonna let you keep playing. That was hilarious. I didn't have to watch the whole thing. Unfortunately, I didn't really. I would love to watch the whole thing because I probably would have laughed harder. But yeah, pretty bad. Let me know what you think in the comments. Yeah, it's. I don't know either. Like, are they just struggling for viewership? Is that why they added it to? I don't know. It's weird to me. It doesn't seem like. I mean, things are cyclical. So I guess back in the 80s, breakdancing was popular, and now we're what, almost 40 years, or basically 40 years past that. So things come back around, I guess. But I don't know how this is an Olympic event, especially that. If that was the representative for your country, you didn't have anybody else that was any better than that. So she's the best. She's the best Australia has to offer. Pretty embarrassing. But anyways, funny. Maybe she was good. Maybe she actually is good, and she's just trolling everybody, which would be freaking hilarious if that was just a troll and she did something to try and make herself popular. I mean, if she did, I applaud that. That's next level shit. Like, she's playing chess when everybody else is playing checkers. But I don't know. All right, let's get on the next thing here. Whoop. Come on. We got quiet commenters today. What, Joe, you scared everybody else off? I don't know. Maybe everybody's away. It's summer. So, all right. So Ukraine is on the offensive again. Yeah. I don't know what this means. I don't know if they're actually turning the tides on this this Russia-Ukraine war, or if this is just a little bit of smoke. Let me read this article. This is CNN, so it's the Clown News Network. So you take it with a grain of salt. I'm sure they'll pepper this up with their own rhetoric, but let's see what they say. Putin vows to kick enemy out of Russia as Ukraine's cross-border incursion expands to dozens of villages. Got a picture here, of course, showing a whatever, I don't know, stock photo of something blown up, I guess. Russian President Vladimir Putin promised to kick the enemy out of his country's territory after it emerged that Ukrainian troops were in control of dozens of Russian villages and large swaths of land a week into Kiev's surprise cross-border incursion. The scale of the incursion became clearer on Monday when Putin held a meeting with local officials from the border regions as well as some of Russia's top security, government, and law enforcement personnel. The acting head of the Kursk region, I'm going to butcher some of these Russian names, so I apologize in advance, but Alexei Smirnov, no relation to the vodka makers, told Putin that the 28 settlements in his region were now under Ukrainian control, adding that Ukrainian troops had managed to advance some 7.5 miles or 12 kilometers into the territory across a 25-mile or 40-kilometer wide stretch of the border. So they advanced into a pretty decent amount of space, but I don't know if these are, in any way militaristically relevant. I don't know. Meanwhile, the Ukrainian military chief, Alexander Syrsky, said on Monday that some 386 square miles or 1,000 square kilometers of Russian territory were now under Ukrainian control. That's a pretty big footprint. So I don't know if this is real or not. Like I said, if it's relevant or not, I'm not sure. Putin said the incursion was an attempt by Ukraine to improve its negotiation position. But what kind of negotiations can we even talk about with people who indiscriminately strike at civilian infrastructure, or try to create threats to nuclear power facilities? What can we even talk about with them? It's funny. So I'm going to play the middle ground here. It's funny in the fog of war how one side will say that when it suits them. I'm sure Putin's done some stupid stuff on his side, and I'm sure Ukraine's doing stupid shit on their side. It's war. So it's like I get into a fight with a guy and I punch him in the face, and then I'm punching him in the face a few times, and suddenly he grabs some sand and throws it in my eyes. And he's like, and I'm like, you threw sand in my eyes. We're fighting. Like, what, you know what I mean? Like, I don't, you know what? Yeah, you should try and avoid civilians, but at the same time, how are you going to completely? This isn't the most advanced warfare or the most advanced weapons out there either. So some of that's going to happen. And like I said, I'm sure Putin's done it on his side. So it's just funny that they use that when they want to support themselves. CNN can't independently verify Putin's claims that Ukraine has struck civilians in the incursion. Oh, this is funny. I pre-read this a little bit before. Where watch, they say that they can't verify that, but watch the end of this paragraph here. Over the course of the war, Russia has been repeatedly accused of targeting Ukrainian civilians and civilian infrastructure by Kiev. Its Western allies and its international bodies, including the International Criminal Court and the United Nations, Russia has denied the accusations despite evidence. Notice how one, well, we can't confirm that at all. The other one, despite evidence. What evidence? You gonna cite any of it? No, just say despite evidence and then just leave it at that. That's simple enough. Somebody read that and go, oh, they have evidence. Cool. I believe you. I don't believe you. Putin went on to tell his security chiefs to expel the Ukrainian forces. The main task is certainly before the Ministry of Defense to squeeze out, knock out the enemy from our territories, and together with the Border Guard Service, ensure reliable protection of the state border. The Ukrainian advances have sparked a large wave of evacuations from the border regions. Smirnov said 180,000 people have been told to evacuate and that 121,000 have left already. Gladkov, the governor of the neighboring Belgorod region in southern Russia, said people living in the, I'm not even going to try that word. Well, I'll try it. Krasnoyarusky, maybe I said it right, I don't know, district were being moved to safer places. We're having a disturbing morning. Enemies' activities on the border of, they're trying to make me say the word again, district. I am sure that our military will do everything to cope with this threat, but to protect the life and the health of our people, we are beginning to relocate people who live in the, they keep dropping the word, the K-land district to safer places, he said in a statement posted on his official Telegram channel. About 11,000 residents from the K-word district were evacuated, and the head of the district administration, Miskov, said later. That word messed me up. So yeah, I'm not going to read any more of this. It's going to be, it goes into a little bit more, obviously, but it's going to be a lot of narrative-driven shit because it's CNN. But point is, looks like Ukraine is on the offensive a little bit. They've been on the defensive for a little while if you're following this war at all. It's not really being talked about as much because it's not, it's the old hat. They don't really care that much to talk about it. But this, I don't know if this is a real thing or not, if this is actually Ukraine being on the offensive or if this is actually what Putin's saying, just a tactic to be able to negotiate later for territory or whatever, because maybe they sense this war is coming to an end, which I hope so. I just hope that it's a favorable end for both, which probably not. Usually doesn't happen in war anyway. All right. Let me get on to the next thing. This is the one I really wanted to talk about. This one I feel like I'm going to kind of go long on. So I'm trying to watch this time. Because I'm sure you're probably, Joe, you're probably going to watch Tim and Pool after this. But I'm going to try and catch the Musk interview. There's plenty of mobs that will do that here in America. Yeah. I agree with you on that. Okay, let me get into this one here because I'm gonna try and be fast, but I have a feeling I'm gonna go a little long on this one. Okay, so I'm not sure if you've heard of this or not. I've just recently heard of this prophecy or this prediction, whatever you want to call it, by a Saint Malachi back in the 12th century. Whether it happened or not, but I'm going to talk about it. It is basically saying that there was going to be 100. He had a premonition that there were going to be 112 popes after that point, and no more. So essentially, the 112th pope would be the last pope before the end of everything, essentially. So whatever you want to call it, if you're religious, you want to call it the rapture, tribulations, whatever you like to call it, Christ's return, all that kind of thing. But this is what he's saying. So I'm going to read this. I've got a few different things to read with this. So I'm going to read this article here. I'm going to go into the list of popes. I'm going to show you the 112 that he's talking about and how that sort of relates. And then we're going to see what the Encyclopedia Britannica has to say about it. It's kind of funny because they ain't playing no games with this. So this is U.S. Catholic. This is whatever. This is a publication, a religious publication. This is what they say about it. So what is the prophecy of Saint Malachi? No sooner did our new pontiff announce his name as Francis than some prophecy experts took to the airwaves, claiming that the new pope is Peter the Roman, the fulfillment of the prophecy of Saint Malachi, that this will be the final pope and the end of the world. Despite the new pope being an Argentine cardinal who chose Francis as his papal name, doomsday believers have tried to salvage the prophecy by arguing that George Mario Bergoglio has Peter somewhere in his birth name, and that the Pope Francis really is a Roman since his parents are Italian immigrants who moved to Argentina. This is what people do when they try and tie in different information like that. Like you see people doing it all the time with like Nostradamus's quatrains, right? They try and interpret it in a way that will make it make sense to something. You know, they try and tie it to something, and it's kind of easy to do that if you're broad enough and you're like, if you're not very specific down to details, it's easier to do that. If you're very specific, it's hard. But that's what they're doing here a little bit. I know from my own Irish family background that many Catholics take these prophecies very seriously. My grandmother, steeped in Irish American Catholic culture, worried that the successor to Pius XII would choose the name Peter, signaling the end of the world. Throughout history, someone is always predicting doomsday, but the hype about Malachi is that they say, or as they say, a bunch of malarkey. The real Malachi was an Irish saint who lived from 1094 to 1148. His alleged prophecies, however, were not discovered until around 1590. The legend goes that Malachi experienced a vision in which he was given insight into Pope's past, present, and future, and then he recorded this vision as a series of cryptic verses. The prophecies were quite accurate up to about 1590. It's pretty convenient. But then became rather vague, lending credence to the theory that they are a 16th century forgery. Malachi's predictions are contained in a list of 112 symbolic phrases, supposedly representing a list of 112 popes in succession. Most likely, though, the prophecy was created as an attempt to influence the papal election of 1590 in favor of Cardinal Girolamo Simoncelli by having Malachi's prophecy identify him as the next pope. But Simoncelli was not elected, and Niccolò Sfondrati, who took the name Gregory XIII, was. Reading Roman numerals, so a little weird. Prophecy supporters have already claimed that number 111 on the list, the glory of the olive, is Benedict the 16th, because the Benedictines have a branch called the Olivetans, though Benedict himself is not an Olivetan. The prophecy goes on to say the supposed final pope in the final persecution of the Holy Roman Church, there will sit Peter the Roman, who will pasture his sheep in many tribulations, and when these things are finished, the city of 7 hills will be destroyed, and the dreadful judge will judge his people. Papal historian Anara Guru says that despite using the name of Saint Malachi, the prophecy isn't worth paying attention to. The fact that Malachi is a Catholic saint, so some Catholics attribute magical or spiritual qualities to the vision, what they don't tend to grasp is that more than likely the entire thing is forgery. Okay, so here is the list. Here's the list of popes, right? So if you look since they started tracking, Pope Francis, the current pope, who has been in whatever you want to call it, the papal since March 13th of 2013, he's the 266th pope, right? So, and here's what they say about him. So his name is George Mario Bergoglio. He's an Argentine citizen, first pope to be born outside Europe since Gregory III in the 700s, and the first from the Americas. First pope from the Southern Hemisphere, first pope from a religious institute since Gregory XVI in the 1800s, first Jesuit pope, first to use a new and non-composed regnal name, since Lando in the 900s, first pope to visit and celebrate a mass on the Arabian Peninsula. Okay, so here is this is the list. This is the 112 pope list from this supposed prophecy. So here is the last pope, call him the glory of the olive. That's Pope Benedict. And this is what they say about him. They say the proponents of the prophecies generally try to draw a connection between Benedict and the Olivetan order to explain this motto. Benedict's choice of papal name is after Saint Benedict of Nursia, founder of the Benedictine order, of which the Olivetans are one branch. Other explanations make reference to him as being a pope dedicated to peace and reconciliations, of which the olive branch is the symbol. Okay, so they correlate that with this prophecy. They correlate sort of this olive 10 thing or whatever, right? So the last one here, they don't name them here in this, but because this must have been previous too, because they didn't, I guess they didn't know or whatever. But so it says, Peter the Roman, who will pasture his sheep in many tribulations, and then these things will be finished. The city of 7 hills, i.e. Rome, will be destroyed, and the dreadful judge will judge his people. So many analyses of the prophecy note that this is open to the interpretation that additional popes would come between the glory of the olive and Peter the Roman. So if that were to happen, that would throw the number out, obviously, because we're at 112 at this point. Popular speculation by proponents of the prophecy attaches prediction to Benedict XVI's successor. Since Francis's election as pope, proponents in internet forums have been striving to link him to the prophecy. Theories include a vague connection with Francis of Assisi, whose father was also named Pietro or Peter. Okay, so like you can see, it's a little watery, but this guy, just so you know, if you're not aware, Pope Francis is currently 87, turns 88 this year. So he's been the Pope now for 11 years and 151 days, one of the longer popes. I mean, if this is a real thing, we're probably going to see the fruition sooner than later, right? So this is going to be like one of those things where people were talking about December 21st, 2012 or whatever, being the end of the world. Maybe they're talking about it in December 3rd, right? You only got to wait like a couple of weeks to see if you're right. In this case, well, I don't know how long this guy's going to live, but we'll see. we'll see if they're right. This is what the Britannica, the Encyclopedia Britannica, has to say about this guy. So Saint Malarkey, born 1094 in Armagh, Ireland, now in Northern Ireland, died November 2nd of 1148. Was celebrated archbishop and papal legate who became a dominant figure of church reform in 12th century Ireland. A fraudulent prophecy concerning the succession of popes was falsely ascribed to him in the 16th century. So like they just right away, they're like, no, they want nothing of this. So yeah, I don't know if this came, of course, I rabbit holed this thing. Read a lot about this stuff. I actually saw it initially on a video where they were talking about it, and then just through the algorithm, just rabbit holed the shit out of this thing. I don't know if any of it's true whatsoever. It's interesting. I mean, they did a little piece on the History Network, I think. I can't remember what the show, whatever, one of those History Channel shows a while back, and they talked about it. It was it's an interesting prophecy that is relevant to now because we're at the finish line essentially. We've got a pope that's almost 88 years old and is supposed to be the last one. And if you're watching and if you're paying attention to everything going on right now, and you feel like we are close to or maybe in the end times, this might kind of hit for you. I'm not usually a ascriber to that kind of thing. So I don't necessarily believe that we're in the end times. I just believe that humans are cyclically stupid. I think we get into the next thing. I think we're always looking for the next doomsday prophecy. But I could be wrong. I hope I'm not wrong, because if I'm wrong, well, everything's coming to an end soon. That's malarkey. Maybe, might have actually. You never know. it correlates pretty well. I'd have to look up that term. I never even thought about that until I saw that article saying it being malarkey. The papacy needs a new, younger look. Vivek Popasamy. That's good. That's good. Actually, you know what? He just changed his name a little bit. You get in there. He could run the world from the Catholic side. Plus diversity, a Hindi man running the Catholic Church. What could be better? I agree. Yeah. Let's talk about DEI hire. If you look at the Bible, there's a lot of parallel going on. Yeah. I agree. There is. I mean, that's the cool thing about the Bible, though. I grew up Catholic, and I did avail myself to a pretty good amount of the Bible, and I would actually like to read more of it because it is, at the very least, if you don't believe religion, if you don't believe it to be actual prophecy or whatever, or the Word of God, it's still an amazing read. It really is great. It's a great book. So, but there are a lot of things that are happening now that they talk about in Revelations, and a lot of things that were prophesized. And there's again with a book like the Bible, it's so broad that it's easy to interpret what you want to interpret from it. Not to shun any religious people maybe that potentially are watching this video, but I don't know. I'm more of I guess I'm just a skeptical type of person. So I believe more what I see. I believe more science kind of things, but I am agnostic. So I do believe certain things to potentially be true in the Bible. So, but yeah, I definitely should pick it back up. It's a cool book in general, right? So, but I hope they're wrong. I hope it's wrong. I'm kind of hoping that in my time period of living that, the end times aren't here, but that would just be kind of unlucky, I think. I just happen to be born in the right time period. Well, be unlucky for both of us, I suppose, and anybody watching, but let's just hope, let's hope somebody else has to deal with the problem, All right. Let me get on the next thing here. I'm going to blast through this one anyway. I'm not really all that interested. I just thought it was kind of funny that there's another crypto scam, essentially. All right, here goes. So the SEC is now suing over another crypto scam. This one happened last year. I'm not sure if I've ever reported on this on the podcast or not, but do it now. So Reuters, this is an article by Reuters. Is U.S. SEC sues over alleged $650 million global crypto fraud. So the U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission on Monday sued the cryptocurrency company Novatech and its married co-founders, saying they fraudulently raised over $650 million from more than 200,000 investors worldwide, including many Haitian Americans. That's amazing. Go after the Haitians. They got tons of money. Novatech and co-founders Cynthia and Eddie Petian, guessing I said that right, allegedly promised investors their money would be safe, with Cynthia Petian assuring they would be in profit from day one. It's so scammy to me. I don't know. Like, people got to be taught on what scams sound like when people say stuff like that. Oh, you're going to make profit right away from day one. Nobody who's legit says that. The SEC said the Petians instead used new money and mainly to repay earlier investors and pay commissions to promoters, while siphoning millions of dollars for themselves. They said the scheme lasted for 4 years until Novatech's May 2023 collapse. Monday's lawsuit in Miami federal court came 2 months after New York Attorney General Letitia James sued Novatech and the Petians in a state court in Manhattan, estimating their fraud at more than $1 billion. A good thing that she was able to make some time in between the lawsuits against Trump to do that. That's nice. The regulators said Novatech tried to appeal to victims' religious faith through social media, Telegram and WhatsApp, and sometimes in the Haitian Creole language, with Cynthia Petian branding herself Reverend CEO and saying Novatech was God's vision. I swear to God. These people use this shit all the time. It's the worst because when you do it from a position of faith, because if you've ever gone to church or you've been a part of a faith group or or any kind of church group of any sort, people want to help each other, so they get into those faith groups and they get into church and they become part of parishes and stuff for that end, right? They're trying to help each other. Especially if you look at this, these are Haitian people. I don't know of a ton of Haitian people that have a ton of money, so helping each other would be a big thing. And these douche lords are just using God and all this bullshit to take money. The level of evil there is pretty disgusting. Lawyers for Novatech and the Petians, who are believed to live in Panama, could not immediately be identified. Both regulators called the fraud a pyramid scheme where companies pay bonuses or commissions to recruit new investors. The SEC also charged 6 Novatech promoters with fraud, saying they kept recruiting investors despite red flags such as delayed withdrawals in U.S. and Canadian regulatory actions that raised questions about Novatech's legitimacy. One promoter, Martin Zizzi, agreed to pay a $100,000 civil fine. His lawyer did not immediately respond to a request for comment. $100,000, really? That's it? I'm sure he's probably swindled out a ton more than that, but all right. Both lawsuits seek restitution for victims and civil fines. Man, this kind of shit's pretty bad for crypto market. The problem with the crypto market is it's new, right? It's relatively new, and there's so many people in there. It's kind of like a wild west in the financial sector. There's so many garbage coins out there. There's so many. Well, look at Dogecoin, for example. It was started as a joke. It was literally a meme coin, and people just pumped it up and dumped it. And I mean, I don't know why nobody kind of got charged for that or anything, right? But it seems like there's a lot of them that are this way, that are pump and dump schemes. This one was clearly an obvious pyramid scheme, which just makes it easy for the SEC to go after them. But the sad thing is there's just not enough, there's not enough information out there to make people aware of what this is. So it kind of just becomes this thing where it's like a Nigerian scam a lot of the times, especially with some of these coins that just have no backing whatsoever. So buyer beware. All right. Let me get on the last thing here. This one won't take any time, and then we can be done around 50 minutes in. Time to go get myself something to eat and set up for this Musk interview. Can't say it enough. I'm kind of excited about this. I want to see what Trump has to say, but okay. So here we go. All right, I got it. Okay. So the gold diggers don't seem to be all that embarrassed about what they're doing. At least this one in general. This one, or I should say this one specifically, she decides to film herself being dumped by a sugar daddy. Can't make this shit up. I'm going to play this video here and we'll react to it as it's playing. All right, here we go.
Cheers. Why?
All right, good luck. I'm leaving.
If you couldn't hear what he said, he sounds very drunk. He said, good luck. I'm leaving.
Are we done? Are we breaking up?
Yeah.
Why?
I'm done.
Why?
Because of you.
What?
So I love how she puts that thing. My sugar daddy crashed out because I wouldn't give the sugar. Not even embarrassed.
What I do?
How you know what you do?
What I do?
You want everything for nothing.
Because I'm not giving you sugar?
No, I didn't tell you that.
That's what.
I love how she does that. She's like, what I do? What I do? He's like, you did. And she's like, because I won't give you the sugar. Almost like she's trying to entrap him in some way in this video. But you should be embarrassed. I would feel like she should be blotting her face out. She won't blot his face out, obviously, because she's trying to embarrass him. But aren't these kind of like a contract in some way? I know they can't be a legal contract, obviously, because it's not legal, but solicitation of whatever. But it's an agreement at the very least. This guy gives her money, pays for shit, and she gives the sugar. But now she's acting like, I won't give the sugar, so now he's dumping me. Yeah, you're breaking the contract. Yeah, is he a loser? Sure, he's a loser. Yeah, but you're just as much of a loser. Like she's taking some kind of weird position here, where she thinks she's better than him in some way. Both garbage in different ways.
Crashing out. Cheers, baby.
You find me a new man.
Find a new
You
man.
may get so hasty.
Because I give everything you give
You
nothing.
don't give me everything. What are you talking about? Everything? You think? No. You
You don't give me everything. Okay, what's everything to this broad? I don't know. She looks like a dumpster fire to me.
don't give me everything. Are we breaking up right now?
Yeah.
We're breaking up? Oh.
He is
Because I won't give you sugar. We're breaking up. Oh. The breakup has occurred, everybody. You got mad?
It's kind of funny. They're both like doing the walk of shame there. You know, she's filming his walk like it's a. I mean, obviously it's a walk of shame. The guy is, I don't even know what he, probably in his 60s, old, out of shape, dude, drunk, and she's filming. But then she's walking away like a loser, filming herself. I don't understand how she's so proud of herself, but I don't know. That seems to be the culture we're in now. We applaud bullshit like this.
Thank you again. We're broken up.
Yeah, you're broken up. Yeah, you stopped giving him the sugar, and he stopped paying for it. I don't know. It'd be different if somebody else was videoing this and catching it, and they posted it. But this broad does it to herself. I don't get it, but whatever. It's that's the world we live in, I guess. All right. That's it. 47 minutes. Not too bad. Not too shabby. I got out of this quick. Yeah. I know. It's funny. She's like she's got that weird sort of long face to me. And she acts like she's all that, but she actually kind of reminds me of a broad I know. Well, I used to know. I don't know her anymore, but irritating. People like that are just irritating. Yeah. All right. Yeah. So that's it. That's all I got this week. I'm gonna go watch the Elon Musk interview. I can't say it enough. 8:00. It said 8:00 EDT. So I don't know if that's already happening or that's a little later. My luck, it's probably already happening. I'll have to catch it on the rerun, but I don't know. So yeah, if you are watching the podcast, you do like the podcast, and you aren't yet a subscriber, do hit the subscribe button. Subscribing to the channel helps a small channel like mine, obviously, as you know, and engagement, hitting the like, sharing, all that kind of stuff. Comments, I love the comments. I respond to everything because I'm a loser, so I respond to everything. The funnier, the better. Although if it's a really stupid comment, I probably won't respond. I'll probably maybe I will respond with like a question mark or something. But if it's an insulting one, I respond. You can always check all my comments and see that I do respond. So if you got something to say it. If you want to check out the podcast and get in, you can get into the comments while I'm live broadcasting every Monday at 7:00 Eastern Standard Time. Except for ones that I'm not around. Next week I'll be here, but the following Monday I will not be here. So that would be I think September the 2nd. If I'm not incorrect. That'll be the Monday where I probably most likely will not be doing a podcast. So if I do, it'll be a surprise one, but I'm away that weekend and I don't think I'll be back in time. So don't look for me then. But otherwise, yeah. Otherwise, I will catch you next week at 7:00. Check out the videos that drop 5:00 between Tuesdays and Thursdays, or Tuesdays and Sundays, sorry, Eastern Standard Time, and obviously share, like, and all stuff with those. Thanks, Joe, for being in the chat with me. It's always better when you're around. When you're not, I feel lonely. So thanks for being with me, buddy. Yeah, and that's it. And I will see the rest of you, and you, Joe, next week. Thanks for watching.